guys. This is a mess. This is so sad.
Yep. Folks, we did 3 videos of the London, Kentucky EF4 tornado. We were on the ground 16 hours after the tornado hit, then less than 48 hours again after the tornado hit, and then 5 days later. We've decided to put all 3 of those videos together in one place in this video. So if you're a weather nerd like I am, you'll be able to watch them all. We've got a little added footage here at the beginning. And I have to tell you something. It was incredibly disturbing to actually stand in the aftermath of the second most powerful tornado that you can have. EF4 is only surpassed by an EF5 tornado. And I would never want to personally witness an EF5's damage if that's what an EF4 does in London, Kentucky. The lives that was taken, here are the folks that was lost to it. The damage, the thing that stuck in my mind the most was the first day we was there, 16 hours after it hit. The smell of a tornado that's recently hit is wood. The neighborhood smelt like a sawmill. Fresh cut wood, fresh broken wood. It was broken and twisted. It wouldn't cut like in a sawmill. The trees, the houses, the rafters, the floor joists, the wall studs, all twisted, broken. And I never expected that. I never expected in Kentucky, in my part of Kentucky, here in southeast Kentucky, to stand in the aftermath of something so destructive. And we lived in London, Kentucky for a while. I mentioned in one of the videos, one of the neighborhoods that was destroyed. Our son trick-or-treated there our last Halloween we lived there. Had a great time. The people was really nice, complimented him on his costume. Just, you can watch it on TV, and I'm a weather nerd, like I said, so I've seen, Joplin, Missouri, Moore, Oklahoma. I've seen the ones that's hit in Kentucky, in western Kentucky and northern Kentucky. But that does not prepare you for actually witnessing what simply wind, just wind, can do. Standing face to face with a man who's telling you that while hiding in the only room of his house that wasn't destroyed, the bathroom, he felt himself and his family start to feel weightless from the pressure of the tornado, start to be lifted. And that he knew if the tornado hadn't passed just as it did, it would have pulled them through the roof. And to talk to that man less than 48 hours after that happened to him, it is, I can't describe to you how it makes you feel. It's certainly, stuff like this shakes my wife. It's hard for her to handle it. That's why you don't see her in a lot of the videos I do like this. But here's all 3 of the videos we did together, a complete documentation of our coverage of the London, Kentucky EF4 tornado. If any lesson can be learned from the misery this thing brought into London, surely it can be prepared and take the weather serious. Because something like a tornado does not give you a second chance. And at best, it only gives you a couple of minutes warning. At worst, a couple of seconds. put out of commission just when they needed it most.
And then we got in the closet for like 30 seconds, and then it sounded like a freight train just hit us. And
then we noticed the winds were starting to pick up. We didn't hear any sirens.
Friday night, May the 16th, last night, as I'm filming this video, a powerful and long-lived tornado tore its way through London, Kentucky, leaving devastation and loss of life in its path. A gentleman just told me that this was an apartment building and that they lost 2 people here. There was 2 fatalities right here. He said a lady owned from over here to the left to over here, and she had lost every business she had. She'd had a couple of businesses and she's lost it all. And 2 of the apartment residents, according to this gentleman I'm talking to, they lost their lives. Merciful God in heaven. This is Jacob. He lives in London here on the Old Whitley Road, and his house was devastated. It's still standing, but it was just completely devastated by the tornado last night. You was home when it happened?
yeah, I was here whenever it happened.
Okay, tell us about it.
We were just standing in our living room watching TV, and Mom called. She was like, "Get in the closet right now." And then we got in the closet for like 30 seconds, and then it sounded like a freight train just hit us. And
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. And who was home with you?
just my mama.
Your mama?
Yeah.
You and your mama was here by yourself through that?
Yeah.
Wow. It didn't last long?
It only lasted like 20 seconds. It was just,
Wow. Wow. Done a lot of damage in 20 seconds though, didn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. And you got a lot of folks here helping you get your good stuff that's not been damaged out, don't you?
These are all my family. They're all from like 2-3 hours away. Yeah.
Thank you, Jacob. Hope anybody in your family injured?
No.
All righty. Hope everything works out for you and all your neighbors here. God bless everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. wrapped it in that sheet metal. Apparently this is part of the London Corbin Airport, which is really hard to tell except for the wrecked airplanes and helicopters. Complete devastation at the London Corbin Airport. I understand they lost air evac helicopters too. Looks like they're working on one now. Hey guys, we got to talk to the airport manager at the London Corbin Airport, and he's going to give you a rundown on what it did to the airport and the path of the tornado.
Alrighty, it took out eight structures, which amounts to 11 hangar spaces. 2 of them were completely wiped off, nothing but a pad and a bunch of debris, and the rest are down, for lack of a better term. We got to get the runway cleared off because we've got a whole bunch of debris from the neighborhood and maybe even from Somerset that landed on the runway. So transportation cabinet's been clearing that off, along with the Whitley County and Jackson County work release programs, and they've done a heck of a job getting it cleared. So hopefully hoping the runway will be open by
a couple of days.
A couple of days is what I'm hoping for.
Hey, we thank you, sir, so much for talking to us. Put out of commission just when they needed it most. My God. Hey guys, we're talking to Brendan that lives here, and he's going to tell us he witnessed the tornado last night.
Oh, it was horrible. It started out as a regular evening. You know, everybody's just kicking back at the sort of living house that I'm in. And then we noticed the winds were starting to pick up. We didn't hear any sirens, but we were watching the TV. And it came in and it swept this neighborhood clean off the foundation.
Wow.
I mean, there was 1 or 2 people, I believe, that lost their lives, unfortunately. You know, now it's just picking up the pieces, but it was a rough night. The storm came in, and...
Did you actually hear it?
Yeah, I was in the closet. We didn't have a basement in my house, so we had to lock ourselves in the closet. But the whole house shook. It was, wow. I mean, it was scary.
I never thought I'd witness anything like this with my own eyes. You notice all the friends and neighbors coming to help the folks here? It makes me so proud to be from this part of the country. They're obviously using the Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, as a staging area.
Rescue.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I'm National Weather Service Meteorologist Alex Borst.
We ran back here to the bathroom and he shut the door, and within like 5 seconds it started, the house was just like, it was so loud.
These folks found their cat just today, just right now. Where'd you find her?
They found her under the rubble. Air pressure coming in almost made you feel light, like he was floating for a second.
I kind of had an idea that my house was destroyed when I found out that the helicopter is a medical helicopter back here in this hangar. It's air evac. And when I found out that their helicopter was totaled, and I knew I only live 500 feet from them, or 500 yards.
Each pile of rubble was somebody's home, possessions, hopes, dreams, and memories.
Preliminary EF2.
EF2 and Somerset.
In Somerset.
Here we're going preliminary EF3.
At least EF3.
Yeah, we were looking at least EF3.
Yeah.
I'm National Weather Service Meteorologist Alex Borst.
Okay, got a meteorologist, so he knows what he's talking about. And folks, that's the National Weather Service actually investigating to set this tornado's EF. And it's at least going to be a strong EF3. It has to be. And who knows, maybe higher. Hey folks, we're fortunate enough to get to talk to Vanessa Mullins, who lives or lived on Sunshine Hill in London, Kentucky. They lost everything, as you can see around her, in Friday night's tornado. They survived by literally doing what all the experts tells you to do. They went to a center room, which was a bathroom, and they tell you to go to that. And it's virtually the only room that's not tore open and exposed to the outside now. Can you tell us about it?
So we went outside because we wanted to watch the storm, and then when we went out there, we heard it sounded like a train coming. So we ran inside, and as soon as we ran inside, the electric went out. And then my boyfriend was like, run to the bathroom now. And so we ran back here to the bathroom, and he shut the door, and within 5 seconds it started, the house was just like, it was so loud and sounded like you were right beside of a train. But we couldn't tell what was going on because there's nothing in there, and it was dark. But then the house started shaking. It was it wasn't even a minute. I swear it was seconds. And then the house started shaking, and then it was over. So you emerged from this room not knowing what shape your house was in. Yes. I had no idea that, I honestly said, I said, what in the world? I said, what was that? Wow. And then I looked up, and this is what was getting in my eyes, where it was and it was trying to take the ceiling off. So if it had stayed literally maybe 2 more seconds over your house, it would have took the ceiling. It would have probably taken the ceiling and taken us. Thank God it was a fast tornado. Thank God, yeah. It was a powerful one. It was powerful. And then when we come out, it's the roof is gone right here, and there was a door sideways right here, and it's you figured dark. Out things wasn't right immediately. Oh yeah, immediately, yeah. And then you could hear someone screaming, I need some help, I need help. And so we walked, we come out here, and there was a table here, and we had to step over it to get out there. And there's everything, there's you can't see anything, it's dark. And there was a lady that was over here, over in this area, she was underneath this tree over here screaming. Okay, there was a woman underneath that tree over there, and she was screaming for help because her foot was almost missing.
Wow. Wow.
And so we were trying to get, we heard people yelling out there, like, does anyone need help over here? They were like at the road yelling if people needed help. And so we got someone to come over to help her. And she was, she had been in her closet and woke up under, like over here underneath stuff, and then
So
crawled.
she said she was in her closet and woke up under rubble.
Under rubble and crawled to this tree over here.
Oh my goodness. And this is your kitchen, of course.
Yeah.
So open air kitchen now.
Yeah, it's
wow.
It's like an outside kitchen.
Yeah, it just takes everything apart
so fast in like a minute. I mean, if even that. It was just, it happened so fast. Like it's like crazy how your whole life can be just ripped apart, and you know, and it just shows you that though that material things and this is all things. I'm just so blessed that I still am alive right now.
That's true.
But
because you said you had a neighbor who lost her life across the street.
Yeah, two neighbors that like right
life.
beside me, you know, and I feel like we're so lucky because this house is still standing there. My neighbor over here, her house is completely gone also, but she's survived and everything.
Okay. Well, you know, when you come that close to not surviving, I guess you realize what's really important.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm like, these things don't even matter. I mean, you need them. You need things. You need clothes to go, you know, to live every day. But that's not what life is about. Life is about people and, you know, just spending time with your loved ones and all that. And it's given me like, it's made me realize what's important, really important to me.
These folks found their cat just today, just right now. Where'd you find her?
They found her under the rubble in our mud room. That was an addition to the house.
Wow.
She got ripped off, so I'm surprised that she made it.
Wow. What's her name?
Her name's Anna.
So she's been under that rubble. This is Sunday since Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh, what a sweet cat. So right here, eyewitness to a feline rescue. This is Anthony Broughton. He was here in this house when it hit.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about your experience, Anthony?
It was a wild night. We built a fire in the backyard. Everything was just going normal. We played a game of Trouble and some categories and was going to build a puzzle. And I was like, you know, I'm one of them guys that like to go outside and look at the tornado when it's coming, and just joking. And she's like, I want to go see. And we walked out on the back porch, and it sounded like a freight train was in the backyard. Instantly, I said, no, we got to go back inside. We was in there maybe about 3 seconds, and the lights went out, the power went off. And I got my phone light out quick, and she come over and grabbed me. I said, let's get out of this mud room and get into the brick. Around here, you don't really think that it's going to be me. You don't think, you know, they happen so often that you just take it for granted. But I said, let's get out of the mud room, and you know, it was a build on to the back of the brick house, so it wasn't structurally as good as the brick. So I was like, let's get in there, still not thinking. We got up into the kitchen. It was like it tripled, intensified, the sound, just everything. And I said, nope, to the bathroom. And she hollered for her boy, and he came and got in there, and I hunkered down over him. And then we went in there 5 seconds, and then it almost felt like you was like on a roller coaster or something. The air pressure coming in almost made you feel light, like you was floating for a second.
Wow.
There was bottles falling out of the bathtub, you know, on top of us. The towel rack over the toilet fell over. But that was really the worst of it in the bathroom for us, you know. And it kind of went away. The noise went away.
How long did it last, do you think, estimation?
10, 12 seconds, maybe.
Wow.
I mean,
wow.
It went by really fast, but in the moment, felt like forever. But once it was over, you're like, wow, it's gone.
Did you realize how bad the house was before you opened the door?
No, whenever we got up, before we opened the door, we seen there was, about half an inch of crack at the top of the ceiling from the trim. And we was like, oh, it picked the roof up a little and set the house down. You know, that's what we thought. It picked the roof up a little bit and set it back down, and you got some roof damage. We opened the door up, and her little boy's bedroom door was diagonally in front of the bathroom door. And then everything, it was just debris all through the house. Everything was everywhere. You turn right, and the table was smashed up against the wall, blocking the end of the hallway. Everything on top of it, multiple washing machines in her kitchen from other houses.
Wow.
We had to clear out a place, and her boy, he got out before us. I was trying to fix the table where she could climb out, and we hear him yelling out in the yard, there's a woman out here.
Wow.
So that when we get out, you know, we have that dealing with, and then we had 5 dogs, and she had 4 pigs in the back, a duck. We found all 5 dogs. 2 cats. She couldn't find the cats at that time. They got us out here.
Pot-bellied pigs.
Pot-bellied pigs that she'd had from babies and raised for years, you know. We couldn't find none of that. They're saying another one's coming 5 to 10 minutes later. There's one right behind this one, 5 to 10 minutes right behind it. So we freak out, take off with the dogs down the road. We go probably 1.5 miles up here to the school.
Well, in the
walking,
dark, through
in
the
the
rubble.
dark, walking. This house right here is completely gone. It was covering the road. We had to come back up in the yard to walk around the house debris in the road because the road was blocked, 6-8 foot high, deep all the way across.
So that debris was a house.
That debris that's crossing right there, that was this house, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Spread across the road right there.
Wow.
And we had to go all the way up to the dollar store and all the way down to the school for shelter. It started crazy raining at one point. Almost, it was like stinging. I don't know if it was light hail or what. We took off running when that happened just to get away from that. And we finally got down to the school, and they transferred us somewhere, and I had a buddy come pick us up.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And thank God you and everybody in the house was all right.
It's a miracle. I mean, when we walked out, that was the only room that wasn't touched. The room we was in was the only one that wasn't touched.
These people are going through all that's left of their life, trying to salvage what they can. This is truly heartbreaking. This is supplies being brought in by the Sand Gap Fire Department.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you guys so much
You're very
for
welcome.
your help. God bless you. Hey guys, we ran into some great volunteers here. They're handing out cold water, offering coats, offering to help any way they can. What's your name?
Colin Dalrymple.
And Zoe Widener.
Oh, all right. Hey, thank you guys so much for this. Y'all been out here long?
We've been out here all day, and then we was out here all day yesterday too.
Wow. Thank you. I know all these people here. Thanks. We're talking to some people here that are literally at ground zero of this tornado that came through here and had just a hurling experience. Y'all introduce yourself.
I'm Nathan Kirby. I live on Miller Lane.
I'm Charlotte Wilson, also live on Miller Lane.
And you're in the fire department?
I work for Corbin Fire Department.
I work down the road at Happy Express.
and you're a victim of it yourself. You're one of the first responders we look to help us when something happens, and in this case, you needed somebody to help you, and you guys lost a fireman up here, didn't you?
Yes, Laurel County Fire Department, and he was a dispatcher. We call him Snez. I don't know the full details of what happened, other than just he was home when it hit, and it pulled him a pretty good distance out of his house, and he was trying to protect his wife. And I believe that she's told that she's in critical condition. I don't know if that's been updated. I don't know any more about that.
Oh, God bless him. And can y'all tell us a little bit about what went on here in your neighborhood?
It started, I guess, coming in around 9:30, severe storms and everything. And as we were getting ready for bed, we laid down, and then they come through and asked us that we needed to leave. He said we need to go ahead and get out of the house. We left about 10 minutes after we left. The tornado actually went through our house, so we was lucky enough not to be home when it hit.
Where did you shelter?
I actually went down to Happy Express, and we sheltered there. They let us go in, and they let us bring other neighbors in who didn't have shelter, so we was able to help them stay safe away from the storm also.
Somebody told me you sheltered in a walk-in or something down there?
We did. We had a walk-in that we was able to put everyone in. We probably had less about 30 people plus infants and everything, that we was able to fit them all in there, and we all survived it from being in that cooler.
All right, can you guys show us where you live here, or where you lived?
I actually lived back here. We'll go this way. This was my home. It was completely leveled. There was nothing left that we've been able to salvage some pictures, some like few personal items and stuff.
That would be the foundation right there to your house.
That
right?
is the foundation of my house, yes. Wow. And then this is what was left of my house.
Wow. If you had left,
we would not be alive. Wow. None of us would be.
Wow.
Incredible. It was terrifying.
And you?
I live here, and you'll know.
Pretty red Corvette.
Yes, it was pretty at one point. You'll notice my house is a little bit different looking than my neighbors. So, on each side of me, those houses are flushed off the foundation. And then on my house, it's more like it's been pressed down. So that to me says that the center of the storm, with its pressure, passed over me. And there's about an equal distance between these two houses. So the side of that tornado flushed them out and pressed me down. And it's pushed everything east. And it's pushed it back and flattened it.
Looks kind of like a bomb blew your walls out in your.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, the ceiling right now. Ceiling right now is about, in some spots, about 2 feet off of the floor.
There. Wow. Thank you guys for sharing this with us. Have you? Where was you at?
I was at work at Corbin Fire Department, and all of us were paying attention to the weather, watching it, and seeing if it would let up or if it would change direction. And it looked like it just followed a perfectly straight line from west to east. And I kind of had an idea that my house was destroyed when I found out that the helicopter is a medical helicopter back here in this hangar. It's air evac. And when I found out that their helicopter was totaled, and I knew I only live 500 feet from them, or 500 yards.
How did it feel when, as soon as when I'm sure everything lit up, the calls started coming in? How did it feel in the back of your mind, having a pretty good idea your house was destroyed and going out and responding to other folks?
It made it very difficult, because as soon as that storm had passed, and we at work were listening to the radio channels here in Laurel County, and someone from, I think it was maybe a Kiwi or a Lilly firefighter, had went to Sunshine Hills to see what the damage was. As soon as the wind, passed through, and they saw that multiple structures were on the ground, and they requested an all-call. An all-call is a request for all available units everywhere in the county to respond to that location. And so they had just got hammered with that, so we knew that if anything else came up, we being a neighboring department in Corbin, we're going to have to assist them the way that we could. And so me and my crew went on the interstate to check for debris to see if we could clear that. And knowing in the back of my mind my house and all my stuff's probably gone, it made it real difficult. And really I ended up leaving work. I ended up coming up here at about 3 a.m. And when I drove up through here, it was a strange feeling, because the neighborhood was my own neighborhood became unrecognizable. You use certain landmarks to kind of tell where you're at based on trees and houses. And when those things are gone, it's just strange. And I could actually only drive so far up the road. I got about 3/4 of the way up, and I parked and I walked the rest of the way up, and I looked here and I looked there. And my neighbors over there, I knew that there were 3 people in their home, and there were 3 vehicles in the driveway. So that to me said they didn't make it out. So I spent a good amount of time just ignoring my stuff and diving into their stuff and searching for them. And as I was here, other crews started to come in and start grid searching on all these
How did
areas.
it turn out for your neighbors?
It turned out that just before I got there, they had one of their relatives come pick them up and drive them to the hospital. So they told me that they were in their bathroom and everything got pushed just flush out, and I think he broke some ribs and really severely traumatized his ear and some scratches on his arm.
Wow. I'd say it was very black that night when you come up here because of the electricity being gone.
There was no power for anybody in the south end.
Yeah, it's great to see all the agencies work together in any kind of disaster, tornado, flood, whatever, to see how quick they come together and work together. And that's great to see that. But I was talking earlier to some of the folks from the National Weather Service, and they were showing me, I didn't realize at the house we was at, and the people we was talking to there, that I was standing in the middle of the path. They said, if you look on each side of you, said this house and where you're standing in it is in the middle of the path. And man, it just shocked me, thinking what went on there 48 hours ago. I'm sure it'll be quite a while before life returns to normal for anybody around here.
Definitely.
What are you guys struggling with right now?
Right now, it's just basically getting your basic needs and necessities. We're fortunate enough that we have a lot of people donating for those items. So now it's just mainly like finding places to live, stay, which we've been lucky enough for a hotel to let us stay there for a little while. But it's that and getting around. Like 3 of our vehicles were destroyed in it. We had the one that we drove out in, so. But getting back and forth to work the coming weeks is going to be harder for him and I because we only have the one vehicle. So it's just the basic everyday things that you're used to doing, trying to make it not there and trying to normalize that for a while.
Wow. And you being a first responder, you might be able to answer this a little bit, how's the response been from bigger agencies, state, federal, or are they coming in and really helping out?
Yes, pretty much as soon as they realized the extent of this damage, there was a request from emergency management given out to send search teams all the way from Louisville, Middletown, Anchorage, I think Danville, Harrodsburg area, sent in their specialized search teams that train in searching for people trapped in debris. Of course, being that they're far away, they eventually showed up, but what you had here was multi-agency response to do just a quick, hasty search and to immediately identify where people were and were not at. That happened at that residence. Yeah. She's in her 80s. Is she about 80 years old?
In her 80s, lived alone.
And so she was in the middle of her debris. Her house situation similar, where the roof is smashed down.
Yeah.
They could hear her yelling and banging, but I was also told that she wasn't injured. Did you hear that?
Yeah, she was on her couch, and the roof was on her. They found her because she was pecking on the roof to get out, but she was uninjured. She was lucky because it was down on her, and she couldn't move, but she's able to peck to be found.
How many lives has been lost up here? Because I've heard different.
The last number I heard was 22.
22 was the last I heard.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's for this county, not statewide.
Yeah, that's for
Laurel County.
Yeah, just for Laurel County. And a person like that, it's especially hard on because she's not from this area and she doesn't necessarily have a safety net to fall on like someone else who's got 6 brothers and sisters to go to for help.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Anything else you want to add, either one of you, there, feel free to.
I'm just thankful for the people that have, from the community that have showed up to offer their services. A group of guys who their business is trimming trees, and they helped me cut through a whole bunch of trees just to be able to shut my water off. And I've seen people up here with excavators and heavy equipment just volunteering their time and not charging anything.
Even though all of our neighbors just went through this devastation, everybody reaching out and helping each other has been, it's a miracle. It's amazing.
Makes me proud to be from around here.
I could not have ever asked for better neighbors than I have around here.
The lady told me a moving story about the blue car that was destroyed in a tornado. It belongs to her son, Tyler Wilson, who is a U.S. Army soldier deployed overseas right now. Said he'd worked very hard to pay that car off and got it paid off before he got deployed. And now it's destroyed. And this is the firefighter's residence I was just talking to with the Corbin Fire Department. This is what's left of a beautiful Corvette he had. And folks, take a look at this. Tornadoes are so strange. It just stuck a spear in there. Homes tore off their foundation. Cars moved across the street. Can you believe this?
So heartbreaking. Like, when I see stuff like this and I go home, my mind don't rest and I can't get the images out of my mind. My mind won't shut, and I just think of all the loss and heartbreak that people have, and it just...
Yeah, I'm afraid we're going to have some bad dreams.
It looks like a war zone, and it's just so hard for me to, stand here and see all this. It's so hurtful. It's just so... I wish I could just fix it and make it go away. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like the lady that I was talking to, she said this house up here with the Corvette, she said that her front porch is actually over here on this side and the house is over there. So they know the locations and stuff. All we see is this, but they know
But the firefighter told me he had a difficulty finding his house.
Yeah.
On account of the shape the neighborhood was in the dark that night. Houses completely tore off their foundation. Lives completely tore apart. Hey guys, this lady has a wonderful, everybody knows me, knows I'm a cat person. She's got a wonderful cat rescue story, just like we just witnessed a cat rescue. She's got a story.
Yeah. So we got out 10 minutes out of our house before the tornado hit. We was able to take our dogs. My cat ran. I could not get her. We come back the next day and we were trying to salvage some stuff. My boyfriend that lives with me, he picked a piece of wall up out of the middle of the house off the floor. And when he did, there was a perfectly square in the middle, and our cat Kiki literally just jumped out of it completely unharmed. She was a little skittish, a little upset, but she just jumped up on me and tucked her head underneath my chin and would not let me go. I cried because I thought she had died. We come back, there's no way she was alive. But she, somehow, a miracle, she survived.
Wonderful story.
Yeah.
Folks, I can't tell you how sad it is to listen to the stories of these people and to walk around and see what they went through and to think of the lives lost. Please pray for these people, and we'll put links if we can get them to charities and to folks that you can help, if you will.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning.
Pues gracias a Dios no los pasó nada, pero fue algo muy asustador.
Tornadoes classified as EF4 or EF5 are considered to be violent tornadoes, characterized by extremely high wind speeds and catastrophic damage, making them very rare and responsible for the majority of deaths from tornadoes.
Operation Blessing, boots on the ground in London, Kentucky.
If you can't make it to us, we've got vehicles and side-by-sides behind you here that we've been taking 3 meals a day. We've been taking supplies, tarps, totes, anything that anybody might need. We're actually taking it to the people and taking it to all of our neighbors.
The National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky has issued a tornado warning.
It's still showing an intense to violent tornado right now moving to London. Hopefully everybody in London's in their safe place right now. Again, if you're not already in London, Kentucky, you need to be there.
In 5 days, you can accomplish a lot when you're cleaning up a mess. In less than 1 minute, a mile-wide EF4 tornado can accomplish a lot when it's destroying lives, when it's destroying a neighborhood. We want to give you guys an update on the final numbers on the tornado. The National Weather Service has said it was classified as an EF4 tornado with winds in excess of 170 miles an hour. This is all that's left of a trailer home, a mobile home. This is all that's left of an RV. This is a Class A motorhome. Picked up, no telling how far it traveled before it landed here. There's a man out there walking around diligently looking under his feet in this field. He may be looking for what's left of his life, what the tornado missed and the bulldozers missed.
And here are the final results of that damage survey. The tornado that impacted Pulaski and Laurel counties in Kentucky on Friday night was an EF4 with maximum winds of 170 miles per hour. The path was 55.6 miles long and almost a mile wide in places. This is the strongest and deadliest tornado on record in Laurel County, and one of the strongest and longest track tornadoes in southeast Kentucky history. Tornadoes classified as EF4 or EF5 are considered to be violent tornadoes, characterized by extremely high wind speeds and catastrophic damage, making them very rare and responsible for the majority of deaths from tornadoes.
There's the story of the first responder who held on to his wife as the tornado hit their house and destroyed it. At last report, she's in critical condition and he lost his life. There's the story of the couple who held on to each other and would not let go. They're both still alive, but she's in very critical condition. They both lost an arm on opposite sides because they was embraced. If you think about that, that's how it would have happened. My wife has a story to tell you. She was talking to a lady while I was interviewing someone down there, and she's helping the lady pick up a little bit. Lady didn't want to be on video, but she talked to my wife about her experience in a tornado.
The lady that I talked to, I was helping a few volunteers while you was videoing, and I found a few pictures and stuff, and I asked the volunteers which box to go in, and they told me to walk over there to see that lady because she favored the picture. So I went over there and I met her and I started talking to her, and she said, yes, that's my husband I lost a few years ago, and my son. Picture was kind of scuffed up and twisted, but she definitely wanted it, was so happy to have it, and a picture of her niece and things like that. Got to talking to her, and she had actually was in the house whenever the tornado came, and she went in the bathroom, and she said the only thing that she could remember is she saw the wash machine coming at her and spinning towards her, and it hit her and it knocked her out, and the only thing she knows is she woke up somewhere in the road, and she had quite a bit of knot in her head and hurting on her face and her chest. She had trauma to her chest from it and everything. She had just got out of the hospital the day that I was talking to her, and just so many stories like this. It's just, there's so many.
Well, there's one in the news about the lady that lost her 2-year-old.
Yes, and I think she had, she lost a grip of him, and she got pulled away from him, and they found the child, the toddler, under some under debris.
And she found him.
Yes, yes, and just so many. Like I said, there's so many stories. And
but the wonderful part of that is
he had just a scuff.
Yeah, he just had his face scuffed, and she just had her face busted up a little bit, which isn't good, but it could have been much worse.
Yes.
The gentleman you're about to meet doesn't speak English, but he has an incredible eyewitness account of the tornado as it passes from one neighborhood, crosses I-75 into another neighborhood. Their house is literally right on the edge of the tornado. He says it's the only house around that wasn't destroyed. They don't have any power or water. They're having to cook outside. We did our best to translate what he said into English subtitles. So here he is, and here is his account of a terrible night on the edge of an EF4 tornado.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Wilton Mauricio Mansor. Pues vengo a relatarles acerca de lo que pasó, lo del desastre natural, de lo que fue el video. Pues aquí estaba yo con mi amigo en casa cuando pasó eso. Podemos ver que la casa donde vivimos está y pasó el tornado acá, cerquita de la casa. Sinceramente solo esta casa quedó acá, de todas las casas solo quedó esta buena. Y pues fue algo muy aterrador. Yo con mi amigo pasamos algo muy aterrador. Pues eran a eso, ¿a qué horas eran, primo? A eso de las 11 de la noche, cuando se empezó la lluvia. Después sentimos como un bujido que venía. Nos salimos para afuera y le pedimos a Dios, va, que los protegiera. De ahí lo salimos para afuera y quedamos viendo así como para el norte y miramos algo negro que se aproximaba y un silbido que traía y algo negro y se miraba unas grandes oscuranas y empezó el viento a soplar durísimo. Entonces nosotros los metimos para adentro y por esa ventana empezamos a ver para allá. Por dentro, por esa ventana empezamos a ver y solo lo que mirábamos era un montón de cosas que volaban y esos palos que se quebraban y todo. Y empezó y solo miramos unas oscuranas negras que pasó y el sonido, traía un sonido aterrador. Y pues yo lo que hice con él fue que me encerré y pues a pedirle a Dios, va, que los cuidara. Y pues eso fue como una hora o media hora pasó eso, más o menos. Como una hora pasó el desastre y como que después como que se levantó esa ola. Eso venía como desde allá. Hizo todo el desastre acá y pues gracias a Dios que solo nosotros lo salvamos acá. Aquí habitamos 6, pero ese día solo estábamos los 2 nosotros, los otros andaban de paseo. Y pues gracias a Dios que no los pasó nada, pero ahora estamos sin luz, no hay luz, no tenemos agua. Pues la agua hasta hoy la pusieron, pero la luz no sabemos cuándo le irán a poner. Tenemos una semana de estar sin luz. Y pues los toca cocinar acá. Aquí hacemos la comida, lo que es toda la comidita en el día. Y pues estamos sin trabajo porque pararon los trabajos y pues sinceramente necesitamos una ayuda de parte de la gente que tenga buen corazón para que los apoye, porque nos sentimos un poco tristes por lo que pasó y pues fue algo muy aterrador que en mi vida nunca lo habíamos visto nosotros, primo. Nunca habíamos visto eso en la vida de nosotros. Nosotros somos del país de Nicaragua. Somos de Nicaragua y pues aquí estamos en este bello país. Y pues algo muy asombroso y muy aterrador, sinceramente. Nosotros pensábamos que era como una pesadilla que vivimos en ese momento. Pero gracias a Dios que los cuidó y los protegió. Y aquí estamos para contar el cuento, como han dicho. Y pues ha sido un placer. Mi nombre es Wilton. ¿Su nombre?
Michael Herrera.
Michael Herrera. Ok, él es un poco como todavía traumado por lo que hemos visto, pero todo bien, estamos tranquilos y pues gracias a Dios no nos pasó nada, pero fue algo muy asustoso. Todo esto aquí quedó lleno de cosas, pero ya lo recogimos y podemos ver que ya las máquinas y todo están recogiendo todo. Y pues si podemos ver para allá, hubieron muchos muertos, hubieron varios muertos, no sé cuántos números de muertos hubieron, pero donde las casas se derrumbaron sí hubieron muertos bastantes. Y pues fue una desgracia. Bueno, desde Kentucky, London me despido, Wilton Humansor.
This house looks like somebody dropped a bomb through the roof. Look at what was blown into this house from God knows where. Look on the siding at the debris marks. Looks like shrapnel holes. This tornado was moving much faster than 35 miles per hour, according to the National Weather Service. And by that I mean its forward motion was very fast, in addition to its 170 mile an hour wind speed. I've heard so many stories about washing machines being thrown all over the place by this storm. In many cases, even if this monster missed your house, it left its calling card. Broken windows, damaged roof, toppled trees. You know, I never thought in my lifetime I would see an EF4 tornado in this part of Kentucky. I have to mention also that we lived in London for a little while many years ago when our youngest child was small, and he trick-or-treated one of the neighborhoods that was destroyed by this storm. So it really touches home to think of what a beautiful all-American small town it looked like then, and what this tornado did to it now. Operation Blessing, boots on the ground in London, Kentucky. And folks right across the parking lot from Operation Blessing are these guys.
How you doing? Kyle Gray. I'm the operations manager here at WB Transport. We're a trucking company here locally. Our owners, we do a lot of humanitarian relief also on the side of things on top of our regular everyday work. Our owners, they care about the people, and during the floods we've took huge donations, so when it happens to our own neighbors right here, we want to help out everything we can. We have no electric. We took some damage to the building here, so the least that we could do is our employees are like, hey, we want to work, we want to help, so we opened our parking lot up, So's Harbor's Church. Pastor Brad Parrott, he called me, where I attend also, and he said, hey, we want to help, we want to do something. So we set up here, LaDonna's Kitchen, they had a food truck here. We were feeding people, delivering supplies to all the victims and our neighbors around us here. Also, once we extended, we did everything we could do. We had a call from Operation Blessing. They're coming in here, they're feeding. They're doing some cleanup work and stuff, so they're set up here now. So we've been able to partner with So's Harbor's Church, Operation Blessing, Emmanuel Baptist Church out of Corbin. And then we had Save the Kids that's come in and volunteer. We've had an outpouring. We've become a donation hub right here, so you can drop off, pick up. For the ones who can drive in and pick up supplies and food and things, they're more than welcome to come in and pick up. And the ones that can't, they've lost their homes, their cars and everything else, we've got side-by-sides and vehicles. We're actually taking it to the people. So we are the church, and not just a church isn't just in a building. Church is we're going to take the church to the people. So we want to be the hands and feet, and like I said, here comes another semi truck in with donations, bringing loads in. We are straight across from the airport, which took a direct hit. And we thank everybody for all the outpouring. We've met a lot of people from other states coming in to help us. And Kentucky, we're Kentucky strong, we're Kentucky proud. We've faced challenges like this before. Unfortunately, we heard that this was the deadliest tornado in history through Jackson Breathitt, through the weather alerts there. It's nothing we're proud of.
I believe this is the furthest east an EF4 tornado has ever hit in Kentucky.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, like you said, that's an infamous record to hold.
It is. This is stretched, I believe, the whole line of systems. I believe the news said over 500 miles,
yep.
Mile wide in places.
Yep.
This is something that you would only see in a movie, twisters and things. But,
yep.
We're very fortunate. Everybody's asked, we're out of electricity and things like that, and they've asked, we've got some roof damage. But as a company, we're very blessed. All of our employees are safe. Our building is still standing. But we want to be able to help and give back to the community that's helped us in the past also. We love everybody, and I just want to say God bless. And like I said, we're here to help. And
so if you need something, if you're a victim of this and you're in need, or somebody who is, WB Transport, come up here or send somebody up here, or somehow you said
yes.
there's people bringing stuff to you.
Yes, if you can't make it if you can't make it to us, we've got vehicles and side by sides behind you here that we've been taking 3 meals a day. We've been taking supplies, tarps, totes, anything that anybody might need. We're actually taking it to the people and taking it to all of our neighbors. And if you can even just get us words, there's people, we're getting emails, texts, and phone calls saying, hey, these people need help. These people, this neighborhood needs help. This is what they're needing. So we're, like I said, we're out every day, day and night, trying to help everything we can. And Kentucky, like I said, we always pull together. We help other states when they have natural disasters and things. But I'm always been very proud of my home here, because you always see the best come out in people. With this, because we all pull together, no matter what their backgrounds are, politics and things, we all pull together.
That's what I love.
And we have one goal in mind, that we're going to build back. We'll build back better than we ever have been, be a stronger community and state.
Hey, thank you so much. God bless you, folks.
God bless.
Thank you for the good work you do. And London, Kentucky's neighbors in southeast Kentucky are reaching out and helping every way they can. Like Harlan County, this school bus has been packed with items and help that's going to take off for London. The Mustard Seed Outreach and the Harlan Missions Outreach, in a joint effort to put the bus out here at the Village Center Mile in Harlan to have it packed. And you can see it is way down in the back. It's packed. So, out of tragedy comes the best of people. I guess you could say the worst of circumstances oftentimes bring the best in people out. I remember watching on a Max Velocity Weather on YouTube, we was watching it on, watching this tornado with this hook echo and then a debris ball when it hit Somerset. Watching it come towards London and not waver in its path whatsoever. What my wife is looking at is the other side of the business I showed you, where the brick wall was tore off and the office chairs and the little cubicles was untouched, right up against the brick wall. The whole wall was tore down, but the chairs and the little cubicles was untouched. This is the other side of that business. I'll zoom in and let you see.
It's just overwhelming. There's
Yes,
just
it is.
so much, so scattered, so many stories.
Can't tell them all.
It's incredible.
I'd like to tell every one of the stories, but you hit it right on the head.
Yeah,
There's just too many to tell.
praying for you all.
Folks, thank you for coming along with us today and giving us a chance to show you some of the charity people. Operation Blessing, doing some major work here. The trucking company, the Souls Harbor Church here in Emmanuel Baptist Church in Corbin and other churches and stuff. Them working and handing out and taking care of people there because their company's closed down and they can't come to work, so they come to work. That gives you really a lot of faith in good people. Thank you, folks. Keep these people in your thoughts and prayers. They sure need it. And, give if you can. They told you, the guy I talked to told you where to bring it. You can bring it right here. If you want to cut the middleman out, you can bring it right here, right up this road, right up here to the trucking company. And they'll take it and they'll distribute it right to these people, from your hand to theirs, from theirs to the people's. Thank you guys for coming along with us. We really appreciate it.
Praying for y'all. Y'all in our thoughts and prayers.
Yep. Bye, folks.
Bye.